Welcome everyone to the massage section of the Intuitive Tantra program. I'm Lana, the founder of the Intuitive Tantra program, and I am excited to share with you all about what actually happens during the session. So we've have other modules that cover the philosophy of Tantra, the chakras of the body, and many other aspects. So check out our other modules. But this particular module will be focusing on going through our session 1. So the Intuitive Tantra program is 6 sessions. So this particular video will be covering our session 1 that we do with our clients. So if you're looking to become a practitioner, this will be really good information for you to be able to incorporate with your clients. Of course, the Intuitive Tantra program does actually allow for expansion of your own just your own interests and bringing that into the Tantra session, what you're focused on. Some people are more focused on the very medical side of Tantra, and some people are more interested in the interpreting the chakras of the body and bringing that into their sessions. And so, keep your mind open for expansion while you're learning and going through our program. Okay, so in this particular video, we're going to be going through the beginning of our session. So as you see here, we have Lilith and a client, and they're doing what we call the attunement. So they're actually sitting on the table. You can do it like this with the legs on either side of the table, or you could be cross-legged as well. Lilith is actually picking up the hands of the client and placing them on the heart chakra. She's done this in a very particular way, actually, and we're going to slow the video down after this one and go through it again. So just go ahead and watch through this, and I'll briefly give you an idea of what's going on. So you can see that they're actually doing the foundational breath work of Tantra here. So Lilith is actually expanding her body on the in-breath and getting some movement, trying to get the client to have some movement through their body as they do this foundational breath work. So the foundational breath work, it's not so clear on the video, but it is actually in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, so this foundational breath technique is a circular breathing technique where when you take a breath in through the nose, you are not holding it at the top or the bottom. So once you actually bring the breath in through the nose and reach the top of your breath, then you actually breathe out immediately. And so there's no holding of the breath on this one. The reasoning behind that circular breathing technique is because when we suppress energy, meaning that if we have emotions that go through us and we suppress our energy, we short and shallow our breath, and we hold those emotions and inside our body, and it gets trapped inside our tissues, and it can resurface at any time. So this particular breathing technique is all about going back and cleaning up what's going on in the body, so that it actually helps to unlock all that suppressed energy. So right now you can see that Lilith is doing a feather touching technique with the client, and just lightly feather touching from the head down the arms, and then she'll go over the chest area, and really it's just waking the senses up of the client. The client is has his eyes closed, is in receptive mode, and just allowing. Our session 1 is called surrender, and this is about encouraging, and it's practice. Sometimes surrendering can be practice for our clients. And so this is, an introduction to allowing your senses just to be aware of the sensations that are going on in your body. Now, right now, Lilith is actually doing just a little exercise that is more for observation for herself. She's, picked up the client's hand, and she's got firm hold right now, holding some pressure against the client's hand, but she's asking the client to receive her energy And they kind of go into this flowy energetic exchange here with this energy. So in this case, this is for filming purposes, so it's giving you a good idea about the flow of what's going on. However, if you're working with some clients, this activity may not flow as smoothly. The client could be very pushy and have a very heavy handed energy, and if you ask the person to go ahead and lightly push against your hand, the person could be quite strong and kind of get your hand trapped even between their hand and their body. So this isn't really to critique the person. It's really just observation about like how to run your session as it goes along. Lilith now is just gently placing the client's hands on her knees there, tuning back in, and let's see what she's kind of just having a moment and calming that energy down. It is a lot to be touched by a new person, so the client has undergone relatively a lot of stimulation as far as that light feather touching is concerned. So here we go into this next section. They're just sitting in prayer position here, and let's see. Oh, they're slowing it down. This is a slow-mo video, so you can see that they're just tuning in, and you can see Lila's hand. She does it in a very particular way. She's going to actually pick up her right hand, and it's the left hand of the client. See it flip underneath, and her hand goes directly on his chest. So you can see exactly what's going on there, and then she's picking up his hand and placing on her heart chakra as well. And what this is doing is giving that circular energy between the two of them, so they're connected for the session. This is a really nice gentle introduction to being connected as a practitioner and a client. The next section of this, she's starting to breathe. So as you can see, she's starting to open up her body. The slow-mo really shows here how she actually opens up her heart area there. And the client at this stage, because the client is generally new in your on your table, is not really sure like what's kind of going on, and so we are encouraging him to start to expand without verbal cues. Okay, so this is like where she's using her energy. She's lifting. Beautiful. See that on slow-mo? You can see how she's lifting up, and he actually lifted up his heart chakra as well. And this is how the opening of the chakras actually happens, just by this gentle energetic exchange and this movement by the practitioner of encouraging the client to open up. Our sessions are like to weave in the energetic movement rather than a verbal cue. The philosophy of the intuitive Tantra program is like, how can we actually move around people in our world without having to speak as much? How do we, bring in our acceptance of people into our space? And also, how do we create the boundaries that we need to create without having to be harsh and make, strong verbal boundaries in that way? Like, how can we do it energetically and subtly, so our world around us is fluid. So here we go. She is actually finished with, she was like half a dozen breaths there, just to kind of bring the breath into the client's body. The deep breathing also helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So as someone takes a nice deep breath in, they actually expand and contract their diaphragm muscle. That diaphragm muscle is actually connected to the vagus nerve in the brain, which activates the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is the one that is all about rest and digest, and the sympathetic nervous system is about fight and flight. So with the Tantra, what we're doing is like helping the client reach a state of go into their parasympathetic nervous system. It's not uncommon that we in everyday life are living in our sympathetic nervous system states, and this is like where we have more chronic stress in our bodies, and it create like not just tension within our relationships but tension in our body. We can experience pain on that level. So our Tantra sessions are very designed in a way to, as quickly as possible. Our session 1 is an hour and a half from the time the person walks in the door until the time the person leaves. Okay, so when you think about everything that goes on either side of the actual massage, which can cut down some time on the table, you relatively have a bit over an hour to actually have that person go through a Tantra experience. And so as you can see here in the slow-mo, you really see the client relaxing. You can see his head sinking and his shoulders sinking down as Lilith runs her hands down his arms there. So it was a really nice visual. So she's going to do this a few times, and just kind of to wake the senses up in the body of the client. At this stage, the client can be very nervous coming into a Tantra session. And this is a very nice technique to get them to relax and to know that they're safe in the practitioner's hands. It's important at this stage not to like make any fast moves. This is like where, with a Tantra massage, it's all about being predictable yet dynamic. So it's not about doing the same thing every time or the same movement, but it is about like letting the client know that they're safe and that you're not going to be making any fast moves at all. You can see here again, Lilith is going through this activity of discovering. She's learning about her client. She's learning about like what energy he has associated with this type of work, or just in his life in general. He may be heavy-handed in a lot of things, or very light-handed. He may like be really pushed against her hand for that connection, or he may lose contact. And so if she moves her hand away from him and his hand just stays there, then it might be an indication that his not so doesn't have the ability to understand that connection and to stay with her. So she's going to encourage that connection, and you can do that in your and it's not about like, if someone doesn't connect with you, it's not about trying to get them to do this activity well. It really is the beginning of the session, but this is kind of like where you want to end up, like in your sessions. You want to have not just this in a hand exercise, but you want to have this as the whole massage. So the person like being connected in full body, during the massage, and connected with themselves, and being able to be this playful, and opening them up to this playfulness, with their own sensual energy. And that's a really beautiful visual you can see there with the two of them playing energetically. Sometimes I describe it, as like being in a movie theater when you're 15 years old, and that very organic energy that happens, in the dark with your, boyfriend or girlfriend at, say, 15 years old. So, as you can see, that's going to come to an end there, and then what Lilith will do is move out of the way. At the moment, she actually is seated at the head of the table, the massage table, and the client is at the other end. We do this for a very particular reason. We like the smooth flow of energy with the clients. So at the end of this attunement, Lilith will climb off the table, and the client will start to, lie face down. So, and otherwise, if the client was at the other side, the client would actually have to like turn around and move. And as you can see, we've slowed this down for you too, so you can see how easy this is. The client just like goes down face down. And so, so let's go into the root chakra. So the root chakra is talked about a lot in Tantra. The root chakra is, well, I won't go too much into like a lot of the details, because we do have a module that we do on chakras. However, what we do with the Intuitive Tantra program is weave, and especially this first session, we weave the concepts of the chakras into the massage. So right here, you can see Naomi here is going to be doing the root chakra. You can see here that she's actually positioning herself and getting herself centered. And the root chakra is all about safety and security and groundedness. And so in order to start this massage, like you've just gone through the attunement with the client's laying face down. And the practitioner here is setting herself up ready so that once she actually touches, you can see how long she takes to actually reach the person's body. This is a process. You can see some mudras that she's chosen to actually facilitate here. You could see her in the beginning, and when we slow it down in slow-mo, you'll be able to see her positioning her body in a way that is creating that safety and security, and that so the client can actually feel that coming through from her. So you can see her floating very, very gently down onto the body. We start, even though the root chakra is actually located at the base of the spine and actually points downward towards the ground, of course, like we, don't start the massage in that particular location, because it would be too intrusive. So what we're doing is we're starting this root chakra massage at the base of the spine, just here on the lower back. And you can see how we did this in X-ray, so you can, because it has this really cool effect of seeing the energy come out from Naomi's hands there as she swirls around on the lower back. And in order to like really have a focus on your sessions, it's good to know and have a direction. And this is like what the session 1 is about. Basically, right now, Naomi is like, kind of indicating to the client and asking the client to breathe into this base chakra area, focusing the breath right down deep to where her hands are. And she's also, in her mind, and this is not something that she talks to the client about, but she's got this little bucket of chi going on here. And chi is just another word for prana, energy. Think of it as a prana bucket or a chi bucket right there. And she's kind of creating. So we've slowed it down here. This is slow-mo. Okay. Now, the one thing with this tantric touch is you can see that it's a very open palmed touch. It's nice and slow, and there's an exploration going on here, an exploration with her hands onto the client's body. You can see her hands wrap around here nice and slowly, and she's like moving around the curvature of his body. And so it's not just a, move the hands over the skin type of feel. She's actually utilizing her body. She's moving her body. You can see in the background there where she's actually creating the massage from her whole body, not just her hands. Okay, so you can see it. She's going to come around again here and reach out and spreading that prana bucket or that chi bucket energy and expanding. Went from a very small place in the lower back as she floated her hands down, but she's actually expanding now out. So it's a safety mechanism. She's really indicating to the client here how this massage is going to play out, giving them an example of like what they can expect. If the client doesn't know what to expect, then the client is going to be on the table going like, where are her hands going? What's going on? And if the hands are all over the place. So if she'd gone from the lower back here to the upper back area or to the leg, all of a sudden, then the client would be like, what is going on? And keeping that client in that sympathetic nervous system state of mind, like being aware, like, and in protective mode. Right now, what is happening is there's this safety, really getting the client here to relax, and tell the client, like, you're in safe hands. I'm not going to make any quick moves, but it's not going to be boring either. This massage is going to be an exciting massage for the sensations in your body. So that's the base chakra there, and we're going to go into the next part of the legs. There's Naomi there in her beautiful goddess outfit. So let's see like what the lower body. Here's some more mudras, and we have a segment on the mudras as well. So if you're interested in implementing mudras into your massage, then definitely look at that module. So here we have, like, after we've come down from the base chakra, we're going to blend it in here. Now we cut the video off, but it'll blend in nicely in your actual massage. Now you can see here Naomi's like gently picking up the leg. Now it's important actually not to kind of pull the leg out and push it in and move the body around. But she's gently encompassing the lower leg, indicating to the client that she still has, she has his energy in her care. You can see how she's turned around now and pulling the energy up. We want the massage to be more directed towards the heart chakra, rather than pushing down towards the feet. Okay, so this is during the base chakra, you're still really having that base chakra energy happening here. And I use the word base chakra and root chakra interchangeably. But, you can see where Naomi's moving her body around, coming back down. Now, this is not in real time, okay? We have videotaped this massage section. So you can actually, it's going to be longer than what. This is just an example of the type of massage that's going to be happening, with the legs. Now, one thing to point out here with the lower body is that she's doing one leg and then the other leg, okay? She's not she's introducing. It's not like she's all over and the person doesn't know which leg that's being massaged. She's really energetically moving, things through this leg. Now, she's going to be pulling it up here, and you can tell ergonomically she's actually using her whole body to pull the energy up. Now she's going back and forth here because we actually asked her to go back and forth while we were videotaping this, just so you can get an idea of how to move your body around this area. Now once that leg is actually complete, and she's gone up and she's put all that energy in that chi bucket, okay, that we were discussing a little earlier. So, and now she's actually moving on. Now, if you've noticed, and you can see there actually where the foot was just off the table, and the client had to actually think about that. It would have been actually nice if she'd placed the foot in a way that he was a little bit more comfortable, so he didn't have to struggle there. But she's gone onto the second leg, and once again moving that energy towards, she's going around the knee area. You can use the knee area as a little mini prana bucket or chi bucket, so you can move the energy from the lower leg up into the knee area, and then move the energy from the knee area up into the lower back area, and that's where you're going to store that chi, and then it'll come into play a little bit later in the session, and what we do when that is happening. So we've got another little clip here of some different massage techniques that you can do on the lower body. The calf muscles can hold a lot of tension, so we want to kind of spend a little bit of time on there and really relaxing those calf muscles. and you can see like where she's kind of like, it's not so much a therapeutic sports massage more than it is we kind of we can go in a little deep at times, and then like kind of bring the energy to the surface, and so we can move it up. You can see just a moment ago where she's actually put a little bit of pressure on the inside of the leg of this client and just gently invited the client to move his leg out towards the side. So not picking it up and moving it out to the side, but indicating that, you can move it out to the side. And what this does is helps to open up this base chakra as well. Okay, we've got a few more goddess shots here, and a few more. And we're going to go into the upper torso. Okay, so we are now going to go to the upper part of the back and explore, the types of massage that you can do on this part of the body. So the one thing too, in these videos we are showing you each individual part separately, so you can get an idea of that. But the one thing to remember with the Tantra massage and the way that we practice is it is all encompassing. This type of massage is not about just massaging a calf muscle and then covering up, and massaging a thigh and then covering it up and never going back to it. With this type of massage, it's like you could be, and we've got Naomi here again massaging the upper back. You can see her doing that, and we'll slow it down and go through it with you in a moment. But this is about reaching back down to the legs and pulling that energy up again from the legs. It's not like leaving them out in the cold down there after you've just massaged them. So we're kind of, it's like you're starting off very small and you're expanding your massage until the massage becomes a full body massage, and not just meaning that you're going to be massaging the full body, but you're going to be holding the energy of the full body during the massage. So you can see here what we're doing with the upper torso. We just gathered all that beautiful prana and chi up into that the bucket at the base of the spine there. And what we want to visualize is just, now that we've gathered that root chakra energy in that bucket, is to spill it over and run it all the way through the other chakras of the body. So if you can visualize yourself like coming up into that lower back after you finished your lower leg massage, and to spill that chakra, spill the chi bucket over, and spread all that beautiful root chakra energy through the rest of the body. And so if you can imagine, that's what you're doing while you're doing this upper torso massage. So as you can see here, you can actually get a little bit more of a visual of Naomi doing more of a using more of her body. You can see the really pretty moves that she's doing with her hands and her arms, and she's putting a few mudras in the massage as well, and helping the person to receive. She's like pulling in the energy to receive that energy from the source, basically, and pulling it into not just her own hands, but she's gathering it from the source energy and applying it to this to her client. Once again, to note her, see that encompassing move that she makes over that shoulder area. It's a very, and I use the word encompassing or cradling, and it's a very secure massage technique for the client to know that you're solid and secure, and that you have that person's best interests at heart, and a very loving energy comes through when we're making that move. Right now you can see her working her way up the Sushumna channels, the two channels that run either side of the spine there. So she's using her thumbs in that sense to move up. You can see how this is, we're going to slow this down a second, so we'll go through it again, but you can see her at the end here, with her hand on the back of the heart chakra, and she also has her hand on the sacral chakra. Just getting it into view here, into the camera view. There you go. You can see her holding that energy, and you can actually visualize the energy going from one hand to the other hand internally, and you're really connecting that base sacral chakra area with the heart chakra. There she has some more mudras that she's bringing into her massage session, and some really pretty dance, arm dance moves to just facilitate the flowiness of the energy around the client's body. So let's see, we'll slow it down here for you so you can take another look. Let's see, so she's gonna start to move around. You can see her hands moving around the body, and you can see the encompassing moves that she's doing here. There you go. And big movements, big energetic movements, all the way, long strokes. You can see the long massage strokes. Okay, it's not short movements. It's not like just kind of like fluffing around on top of the body. This is deep and powerful, and you have to work your way up to being this deep and powerful at this stage. And this is why we take it very, very slowly when we begin the session. You can't just go in on someone like this, or it's too much for them. They're like, what are you doing? Okay, so this is only due to the preparation that she's done prior to coming up to this part of the body. Now, the session's an hour and a half. The session 1 is an hour and a half, and when the person comes in for the first time, they're going to be spending about you're going to be talking to them for, maybe 10-15 minutes, and then the attunement. So by the time you actually get them face down on the table, it might be 20-25 minutes into the session, and when they leave, they may take a shower before they leave, or so you might need to get them off the table about 10 minutes before the end of your session. So you've got to a little over an hour. So you're going to be spending at least 30 minutes with the client face down. It's important not to rush this part of the session. Really taking your time, to get the person to relax. By the time the person, turns over, they should be very in a meditative state. The whole time while you're doing this back area, you're reminding the client to take a breath. Okay, so nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, and guide your instructions based on the cadence of their breath as well. So if you want them to take a longer deep breath in, then draw your voice into that. So take a nice deep breath in and hold your verbal cues, so the person doesn't, so they continue. You can actually say, allow your body to expand, allow the breath to expand your body. Use these verbal cues as a way to, a very positive way to indicate that their breath come into their body. And if you want them to breathe into a particular place, it's good to have your hands in that particular place. So if you want them to breathe into their heart chakra, you need to have your hands on their heart chakra. A lot of the clients and a lot of the new clients coming in, they don't know where their chakras are. That's why they're coming into you, to learn about where they are, to have that expansion of knowledge. And it's a great this is a great way to teach them, because it's very experiential. You can see here where she's going up the Sushumna channels again, and going up in the middle and coming down on the outside of the body. So she's really spreading that energy around. And once again this is slowed down. It's actually at a faster pace, so you would spend more time than this actual video on the back area here. It just, this is a demonstration of what she's doing, and you can see here where she's just moving the video again to give you an idea of like where the hands are placed on the body. And it's important to really lower the person's energy in the sense of calming it down before you turn them over, being nice and gentle and giving them a feeling of things are about to change. There's a change coming up. You got to slow down that dynamic massage that was happening and being really comforting. You can see here where she's being very comforting to the person. It's a nurturing type touch, but just kind of located in those chakras. She's not going to the rest of the back at the moment because she doesn't want the person to think that that's what's going to happen again. And she's going to the top of the person, and I see she's going to this is just another move you can make, kind of like coming from the top of the head of the person, and just pulling that energy up. So she's going to finish the back massage and coming. The beautiful thing about what you can see that she's doing there is actually like moving all the way up to the neck area. So she's pulling that energy up and weaving that energy from side to side. Right there, she's actually doing a coming through the Kundalini channels and weaving it through the chakras. You can see on either side here. That's a really beautiful, pretty move, and it looks really great in that X-ray too. You can see the energy moving up, and she's coming and really seeing the contours of the back of the neck there as she comes up. And now looks like she's going to slow it down and finish that. Beautiful back massage. Once again, you would spend about 30 minutes from the time you're actually starting on the lower back, going down the legs, and coming back up onto the upper torso here, and doing that back massage. And then you can see now she's quietening the energy down, holding her hands on that heart chakra and lower back area, and she will probably just ask the client to nice and gently whisper in their ear to like roll over. And so when you get to the end here and she's doing a little bit of energy work, you can see on the chakras now, and really nicely. And this is like where you can actually choose, if you're looking at doing mudras, if you're looking at, incorporating some extra information. This is a quiet time though, as they roll, about to roll over. You can see here that she's doing some off the body energy work. If you're a Reiki therapist, you'll be very in tune with doing some Reiki energy, through this type of massage. And you can see whether she's calming the body down nicely and taking her time. Her energy and her presence is going to dictate like what the energy is going on with the person on her table. So it's important to like, not to make those quick moves. And you can we cut it off there, but she's going to ask that client to very gently like turn over, and then we're going to go into the heart chakra. So in this image, you can see the placement of the heart chakra, and how, I think this is Lila's hand. She has her hand lightly placed in the center of the person's chest. So you can see her going into the heart chakra, nice and gently coming down onto the body. It's important to not go in too quickly into the heart chakra area, because people can be very sensitive. People don't have their hearts touched a lot physically, especially by someone that they have just met. So it's important to be nice and gentle. going into this massage, you can see where Lilith is gathering the energy up and bringing it into the center. Let's slow it down just a little bit for you, so you can see what's really kind of going on. She's got some beautiful invocation work going on there. The hands is gently touching the body. And she's also asking the person to breathe. So take a nice deep breath, into the heart area. And this is like where your body needs to expand as the person's breathing in. And it can kind of come down a little bit more firmly when the person's breathing out. So you're really trying to encourage the person to have the breath come into that heart area and expand the chest cavity. Okay, so this is, really seeing like how Lilith is gathering that heart energy and pulling it into the center of the person's heart, and then weaving that and spreading that beautiful heart energy around the body. You can see her body's flowing, her own body is flowing, through this session as well. And really powerful for the heart chakra. Once again, not in real time, okay? So you could spend a lot of time on this heart chakra. Turn the person over, and we're going to spend half an hour on the upper body. Right, so let's look at the solar plexus massage. We're going to do a few of these all together. So as you can see, the videos running through the locations of the solar plexus, and here you have the sacral chakra. And then let's have a look here. We have Naomi again on this clip, and let's see. She's going to center herself. You can see she's centering herself, and she's just really lightly right there. She's got the heart chakra, right, and then the solar plexus, and then down at the sacral chakra. And she's really just pinpointing, just for the video basically also of where these chakras are and where the locations are that you would want your client to breathe into. Once again, I really can't emphasize enough the power in nonverbal communication. And so you don't have to actually ask the client to breathe into their heart chakra if they don't know where it is. You can just lightly place your fingertips on your heart chakra. Right now, she's got a fingertip on the, and you can, beautiful breath work there in with the client. So as you can see, breathing in, and she's lifting her hand up off the body and then gently coming in just to indicate to breathe out. And then you can see her pulling the energy up with her hand. So that's a really beautiful technique that you can utilize there. So you're usually using your body and your hand motion and energetically to help the person expand their the dynamics that are going on internally in their body. So now she's gathering the energy of the solar plexus and introducing the energy that she has there from the solar plexus into the sacral chakra. You can see her blending. And this is a technique that I haven't actually explained on this video just yet, but it is about blending these chakras. It's a little bit like the chakras are going to a party and they don't know each other, and right now you are introducing them to each other. So it's a very gentle process. It's like, hey, solar plexus chakra, this is the sacral chakra. And, because chakras don't work just by themselves. This is, they work harmoniously together. If one is overstimulated or understimulated, then that's where we can have some disharmony going on in the body as well. So you can see here, she's actually asking, you can see the breath rise and fall. This is a really beautiful example of the client breathing in and Naomi lifting her energy up off the body and then coming back down when the breath's coming in. She's blending it into the sacral chakra, massage. And in this case, we're doing this just for video and training purposes. So you can, really kind of move into the contours of the body while doing the solar plexus and the sacral chakra massage. And you can blend that sacral chakra into the leg area. So, once again, this whole front side of the body takes about 30 minutes, okay? So there's no need to rush what's going on. Right here, you can see now where she's actually lifting her hand. She's actually asking the client to breathe in to the heart and the solar plexus, and then bringing it up to the heart. Now you can see here she's lifting her hand off the body when the client breathes in. So she's asking the client to breathe into the sacral, solar plexus, heart, and she's bringing that breath up. So she's basically asking the client to bring the breath from that sacral chakra all the way up, and she's utilizing her hand movement so the client knows what to do, okay? And there's also some slight verbal indications. She might be saying like, take a nice deep breath into your sacral chakra, bring it up to your solar plexus, up to your heart. And the idea here is to actually like move the energy, the breath through the Kundalini channels, up into the higher chakras, okay? So in this next section, we have like the throat chakra, and we've got a picture here, an image here of like where the throat chakra is, okay? And then let's take a look at the third eye chakra, because we're going to blend that breath all the way to the top of the head. You can get it going with the heart chakra and the solar plexus and get the client to have a little practice, but then what you want to do is bring that breath all the way up to the top of the head. So there you have your third eye, and this is your crown chakra. It's located at the top of the head, okay? So now we're back to Lilith, and she is going to show us that we've got the client again, like breathing in, and as you can see, this is some beautiful movements. Lilith moving her body, really invoking with her body the movement of the energy in the client, and you can see actually the client lifting his chin up as he breathes in, and this is a really great indication. You can see his chest rising and falling there, and this is like where being a Tantra practitioner is all about. It's about being observant of like the client's breath, watching where the breath goes. Sometimes people are breathing into their chest area, and that's where it stays. Sometimes if you ask someone to breathe into their heart chakra, they will bring the breath straight down into their solar plexus chakra. And as a practitioner, this is what we're looking at. This is like, how do we move that breath up into that heart chakra? Okay, it's not about just like pumping the breath into the heart chakra and trying to resuscitate it in a sense. It's about utilizing where the energy is, and take the power of where the energy is, where there's an excess, and move it into where there's a deficiency. Okay, so you can see here Lilith is working more on the third eye chakra at the moment. She's doing a little meditation on the third eye chakra. You have to be careful here with some clients whether they like their face being massaged and their head being massaged. There's different people have different personal things around that, so definitely going in slow is a good thing. You can rub your thumbs over their eyes, over their eyebrows, and down their cheeks, and sometimes over the lips. Nice sensual move to rub your just to brush your thumbs over the client's lips there and down, wrapping your hands around the ears. It's a very comforting and very nurturing. There's some beautiful moves by Lilith, who is activating that throat chakra. You can see the client has a very open throat chakra here, nice and relaxed, sinking into that sensuality of touch, and very comfortable with the practitioner touching him. So let's just see. You can see beautiful movements up and down as Lilith comes in. The client actually has a movement in the breath. You can see his chest still rising and falling there. Now you can incorporate the chakra information and the meditations. The meditations are also on another module. We go more in depth with the meditations and the chakra information that you can actually talk about with your client during the massage session. And once again, having the minimal verbal instructional clues, but if you weave the information into a meditation, the session becomes really beautiful, and the client can visualize, what they're supposed to do without thinking about what they're supposed to do. And here Lilith, I believe, is finishing up on her crown chakra. So this is just, once again, these videos are piece by piece, okay? So just to kind of give you, to break it down for you, to give you a way to start the session. This is just session 1, and if you're a new practitioner, learning it this way is going to be the easiest way until you become fluid in your motion, because she doesn't just stop the session at the crown chakra. She's going to go back in and incorporate, and like I said earlier on in this video, it's about having a full body massage, but encompassing the client's full body with your energy. So she's going to eventually go back down, and you can see her now moving back down into the body after she's already invoked that crown chakra energy. Okay, she's kind of going back in. So there's the top of the that's actually all the chakras separately, and might put a little bit of a recap on here, just to give you at the end of this video, to recap some of the moves during this session and how to tie it all in together. Okay, let's have a look at just rerun through some of these videos for you. And like I said, this is the session 1 of the Intuitive Tantra program. This is an excellent way for practitioners to get started on their journey with Tantra. Massage therapists, Reiki therapists, healers of anyone who's just looking to come into the industry, in the Tantra industry. So let's run through these videos again. You can see here that Lilith is making that circular energetic connection with her client here. She's using her body to breathe in and breathe out to start expanding and really energetically getting the client to start moving his body as well and become, in tune with her. Now you can actually, the reason why we call this intuitive tantra is so the practitioner has the freedom to be able to bring in his or her unique gifts into the session. This is really just an outline and some ideas that are for you. I mean, if you're going to be certified in the Intuitive Tantra program and offering true Intuitive Tantra sessions, then we do like to keep it close to the structure of the session, mainly due to the fact that with our program, people can go through session 1 with one practitioner and then do session 2 with another practitioner. So it doesn't necessarily have to start again with this program. Okay, so you can see here Lilith is doing the feather touching for the attunement. This attunement is done on session 1. And actually it's also done on session 2 and session 3, but we add a few more things in the attunement on session 2 and session 3. So this is the session 1 attunement. That connective heart breathing exercise. Lilith is stimulating the senses of the body with some feather touching. This attunement takes all in all about 5 minutes, 5, 6, 7 minutes. You can actually talk to your client here about a few things, a few philosophy aspects of Tantra. It's usually, this attunement is done about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes in after the client arrives. So the session 1, once again, is in 1.5 hours. And so it's a 90-minute session from the time the person walks in the door until the time they leave. And so that actually includes greeting the client, offering the client some water, having the client fill out a disclaimer form. and asking the client a few questions about why they're there. Have they had a tantra session before? Maybe they want to share their experiences with you. What kind of tantra did they experience? Maybe they had some positive experiences, maybe not so positive experiences, and so you can get a gauge of like how to adjust your session towards the client. You can see here Lilith is doing that exercise, really trying to get the client to receive her energy. And once again, you can just use this kind of like a diagnostic tool of like knowing, what type of energy that the client is showing up with. Okay. And if you, need to, do some techniques to gentle that energy down a little bit, or maybe they're coming in with no connection whatsoever, and how do you create that force and that dynamic aspect of yourself to be able to lift the vibration of the client? So, this, once again, this attunement will take about 5 minutes, okay? There's no set rule. It could take 6, 7. There's no one standing over your shoulder when you're doing these Tantra sessions. This is intuitive Tantra. It's an organic session. This is a structure to put your own flow through. And this is just universal laws. The universe runs on structure and flow. The intuitive Tantra program creates a structure, and you as the practitioner able to bring that flow into the session, and your energy with one client could be very different than another practitioner's energy with their client. So you can see here Lilith popping off the table, and the client going ahead and lying straight down. Once again, the client is sitting at the base side of the table, and then so they can actually lie straight down, and then you can start the session. And you can see here, we filmed this specifically for the training video. So for the next video, you can see here we're going as the person's lying down. Once again, the practitioners, you can see her grounding herself there, really centering herself. We encourage you to have your feet, at least hip width distance apart to start with this session. Nice meditation there, grounding the self as the practitioner, calling in their own source energy. And these sessions are really about using the sensual energy to invoke the source energy within the client. Okay, so they bring you closer to your own source energy. A lot of people will come to these sessions for maybe emotional reasons, maybe relationship reasons, maybe physical reasons. It's not unusual for men to come into the Tantra session for concerns such as erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation. If you're looking to specifically use these sessions for those concerns, I do talk about the healing aspects of specific diagnosis of these concerns in other videos. So check out some of the other modules for that specific. This video is definitely more structured around what to do first, what to do second, and how to run your session in a manner that feels dynamic yet very predictable and safe to the client. You can see here Naomi had gently placed her hands on the lower back. She's once again building up that chi in that chi bucket or that prana bucket, and really gathering that energy there. It's really like an activation of that base chakra. So with this stage, and she would be actually talking to the practitioner, to the client about the base chakra, okay? So she's going to be going through a meditation technique, and she's going to be talking about like the aspects of the base chakra. So she's going to be saying like it's the color red, it's about safety and security. Now we encourage that the more you can bring these elements into a meditative space, rather than just learning the chakras off by heart and just very basic information. If you can bring the poetic nature of the chakras into the session, the client will have much more of a deep visualization and activation of the chakras, rather than just plain and simple 5 facts. Okay, so we definitely encourage that. As you can see, Naomi now is like, moving down. She has not taken her hands off the body. This is like definitely, here we go. Well, she actually did take her hands off the body at that time, but we're just refilming it here for you. So she's actually, gently, nice and lightly coming down the outside of the leg, and then what she's doing is using her energy to push the energy from the lower leg up towards the heart. Now this is helping with the venous return, the blood to the heart. This is like why we have much more of an impact when we're have an increase of pressure on the way up towards the heart, rather than on the way down. So as you can see here, she has little chi buckets, one behind the knee. She's gathering that energy there, and you can see, like, if you watch really closely, her hands are really melding into the contours of the ankle there and wrapping around the leg. The wrapping around is like what you actually do in order to see. She even goes right under there. It's a very, very comforting, encompassing move. And this is like so early on in the massage session, and you're giving your client the safety and security, of that. Actually, if you look closely here, what she's actually doing is she has the client's foot tucked into her hip. Okay, so that contact is actually a very sensual move, for the client to know that they're connected and to know that the practitioner is very invested in the session. If you are 3 feet back from the table, your client's going to know about it. Now we talk a little bit about clothing and everything in other modules, and what to wear as a Tantra goddess or a Tantra god, but you can see here it's a very close massage session. So if you're wearing street clothes, more than likely your street clothes are going to be have oil on them. What we suggest to do with the clothing is to wear wash and wear clothes, but we do encourage you to dress as in goddess dress. One of the things you can do is just go to a material store and buy pieces of material and use them as wraparounds. So you can change them, you can buy new ones, or generally you can get them for about $10 a piece of material, and you can utilize these like day in, day out, and change them up and get creative. The idea is to really get creative as far as, people are coming to your temple space because it is a temple space. They are coming to a Tantra goddess because they are looking for a Tantra goddess. If you're dressed in streetwear, then it's a whole different perception of what's going to happen during that Tantra session. And if you do have your best clothes, you're not going to want to spend too much time close up near the massage table, so it can hinder your connection with the client in actually providing that massage. Okay, so the legs, and once again we've kind of cut this down for you. This is just a recap of the massage session. You can see here Naomi's going through and really exploring the client's body, very slowly. And the client really feels this with her. You can see with her fingers are really going deep, even almost under the body on that table. So it's not just the surface of the top of the back. She's actually wrapping her hands all around the body, so that body feels very nice and held, very comforted, and has that connection. So basically, she brought all that beautiful chi up into the chi bucket and then spilled the chi bucket over, and she is now spreading all that beautiful root chakra energy all through the rest of the chakras. I mentioned a little earlier in this video of how we can see the chakras. We're really introducing them to each other just through our daily stress and lives. We can become a little bit imbalanced, and this type of work can help the chakras to start communicating together again. If one chakra is actually just doing all the work, then it can take a strain on that particular one chakra, or it can take strain on the other chakras. So this is a type of energetic work that can open the chakras, and not forgetting too, and I think you'll see at the end of this video that we to seal off the chakras as well. It's important that at the end of your session, once you've actually gone through such a powerful experience, the client doesn't actually walk out into the world raw and feeling quite vulnerable. You have to take a check on your client when they walk out, because they tend to forget everything, their glasses, their keys, phones and everything. They definitely are, can experience like being in a different world when they leave these sessions. So help them gather their things and and get them on their way. But it is important at the end of the massage to just seal the chakras. And when I talk about sealing the chakras, it's more of an intention. It's more of just a nice placing of your hand or your fingers on those chakras and just letting them know that we appreciate you being open, we appreciate the energy being drawn into this body, and allow the client to walk out without being so raw into the world. You do find that clients change from the beginning of the session to the end of the session. So if they're very quiet when they come in, maybe they don't want to talk about themselves very much, maybe they're nervous. It's not unusual for clients to be very, very nervous, sometimes terrified. This can be a new exploration for them. It might be the first time they even thought about doing something that was healing to themselves, and exploring what that spiritual part of themselves, and going in deeper, and this can be quite with this awakening, it can be quite powerful. Sometimes they're like, they don't even remember the session. It's not unusual that clients will think that the session just runs for 10 minutes. They're like, is this over already? It really is quite hypnotic in a sense. The breath work does take you down into a deep place. So, sometimes they will just forget where, they've been for an hour. It's also handy in that sense to have a clock nearby so you can time your session. Another way to time your session is to create a playlist and have some music, the music that you're playing. If you're doing a 1.5 hour session, to have that music start up when the client comes in, and then it will let you know with particular songs on that playlist where you are in your session. And then the idea is to create that playlist so it crescendos at the correct place, and not too loud and at the end when you're bringing the energy down from the person. Okay, so as you can see here, Naomi is actually like working those Kundalini channels up the sides of the spine. She's working from the top of the head. This is a really powerful move too, because it's not just about massaging with the clients, you're just not massaging the client's chakras, you're using your chakras also to massage this client. You can see where she's actually like weaving her way through the Kundalini channels at the moment. Really pretty, really beautiful flowy moves. to help that energy, move through. And I point out these like really smooth moves because if you're very jagged with your hand movements, this is what you're creating in the person's body. So it's important to have that beautiful flow, and because their energy will match your flow. It's like, you're getting it to attune to the energy that you're putting into it. And, also talked a little bit earlier about moving your own body around when you're doing this session. If you massage from your own heart, as an extension of your heart, this will really flow into the massage session. When you are very present and you're massaging from a space and within yourself, then you also will find that the session just flies by. Okay, so there shouldn't really be any watching the clock in these types of sessions. To get the most powerful sessions, it does take being very present yourself, and bringing that energy into the tantra session. So this is about not just about the client becoming a little bit more connected to their source energy. This is about you being able to play in your own source energy as well. And if you have hours of that during the day, it can be very, very powerful for the practitioner. Their intuition really amps up. It's really quite amazing to, I've worked with a lot of practitioners, and to hear their powerful experiences in their own personal lives by doing this work. Things start to become very synchronistic and start to align. And this is where, working in this source energy, you just start to align with your own personal desires, and beautiful things will happen, and I love to hear about them. So here you go. We actually turn the client over. We're flipping back and forth here because we did a couple of videos. So here we have Lilith, again doing a heart chakra massage. So once again, you've got the attunement, you've got the lower back base root chakra massage, building that energy up into the chi bucket, going down to the legs and pulling that energy up into the chi bucket. Then moving spilling the chi bucket over, okay, and pouring all that beautiful root chakra energy all over the back. We're going to be massaging that chi all the way through the chakras, the heart chakra and the back of the solar plexus chakra, all the way up into the neck, the throat chakra. Then we are going to nice and gently lean over and ask the client to roll over nice and sweetly in their ear, and they should actually be very difficult for the client to turn over. If the client's just jumping up off the table and turning over, then you might still have a little bit of work to do in order to get that person down into their parasympathetic nervous system and down into a relaxation mode. Okay, they should be most of the time they'll be and dragging themselves off the table and turning themselves over. Okay, and then we're going to start with that heart chakra massage with Lilith just did. And then at the moment she's going to come up, and this is an actual choice for the session 1 or any session actually, and this is where it becomes very intuitive for the practitioner. In this particular video we're showing you the heart chakra, and then we're showing you the throat chakra and the third eye and the crown. So however, what is best to do is to go from the heart chakra and then the solar plexus chakra, and to get the client to breathe into the solar plexus chakra and move it up to the heart chakra. And we'll show you a little video of that in just a second. And then from the solar plexus and the heart chakra, you can kind of choose, depending on how much central energy is flowing through the client, you can actually go up to the throat and the head, or you can go and collect all that beautiful central energy from the sacral chakra and incorporate into the breath, and then start to like pull that breath right up from the sacral chakra, through the solar plexus, through the heart, all the way up to the throat, third eye and crown. And this is like where you'll find that the client will start arching their back. We definitely encourage the client to move through the session. The client should be actually starting to like move with their central energy. This is like what it's about, to, rather than resisting the urges to move and relax through the session. So definitely encouragements of like, allow yourself to sigh on the out breath, allow yourself to sigh with pleasure, giving the verbal cues, in that way to ask the client to let go. Other little techniques is on the out breath, allow yourself to sink down onto the table. Little clues like this can help to relax the person, like muscle by muscle by muscle, and you can get into that more tantric space a little bit quicker, giving your session a little bit more of a powerful experience. So we have here, Lilith is finishing up the head. Okay, so running through again, we have the attunement, which comes about 10 minutes after the person walks in the door. Someone's going to walk in the door and you're going to be greeting them and, offering them some water, offering them the disclaimer form if you have one, and getting a gauge of like why they're there, asking me if they've done a tantra session before, seeing if what they're interested in with a tantra session, rather than just like putting them straight on the table. They want to know a little bit about you as well. You can offer them your experience and comfort them in like what your knowledge is and what you would like to focus the session on. Going into the attunement, and then having the client lie face down on the table and starting on that root and base chakra chi bucket, working the energy all the way from the feet, incorporating that meditation of a base chakra, and then bringing all that energy up into the lower back, spilling over the base chakra energy, and then massaging the lower back. Massaging the full back, and then asking the client to roll over once you've actually, of course, calmed the energy down. It's not great to ask the client to roll over if you're in the height of a really powerful move. It's too jarring for them, so you need to really find that sweet spot of when they're nice and calm, and rather than and not leaving it too long before you actually turn them over. Once you turn them over, you're going to go straight to the heart chakra, massaging. Then you can extend into the arms from the heart chakra, go into the solar plexus. You can see here on the video at the moment, Naomi is really pretty moves, being very, very delicate with the energy. You can see how light her hand is. You can see right there how her hand lifts off the body on the in-breath, and has a little bit more energetic down pressure, not pressing on the body at all, just allowing the weight of her own energy to bring to actually help facilitate the out breath of the client. You can see here she's actually working on the solar plexus chakra. Okay, she's weaving it in. See how she starts really small and then it gets really dynamic. She's got some beautiful moves there, and you can see that she's really enjoying the massage too. And this is one thing too, you really want to enjoy this work and put your own energy into it and playfulness into it. This is Tantra and it should be playful. We're actually invoking the beautiful central energy to be playful. So you can see here the client did actually adjust there. His body moved and he became more comfortable and probably moved his legs She's actually not forgetting about the heart chakra there. She's incorporating, bringing the heart chakra back in, and the solar plexus, and then weaving that energy into the sacral chakra as well. And the sacral chakra, you can actually go down the legs and on the inside of the thigh. This is like all about your own preference as a Tantra practitioner with the sacral chakra, how close you're going. The intuitive Tantra program is a non-sexual session, so we don't do any direct genital stimulation, and this is like what gives us the ability to provide a session that stays within the legal laws of the USA. There are other countries where genital massage or doing a lingam massage is completely legal, and you're more than welcome to incorporate that in your sessions if you're in an area where that is a legal modality. For people here in the USA, if you're doing the session, at the moment the laws do state that any genital massage does come under the prostitution laws. So that's obviously a concern for the practitioner if that happens, and for the client as well, if there was any discrepancy on that. So it's just to be aware of. You can see here where Naomi is really lightly moving through. So this is like where she's getting the client to breathe. She's pulling the energy down, taking a nice deep breath in. She's going from the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart. See whether she's like bringing the breath up, and no doubt instructing the client right now to breathe into where her hands are, so he actually knows. And she's going all the way to the top of her head. You can see it up there. And so that breath is like going all the way up to the top of the head, and this is like where the client can actually like start to arch their back. They start to move, the Kundalini energy coming through. You can see Naomi doing very broad movements right now of like showing you how to tie it all in together. She's actually like going back down to the legs, bringing it into the center of the body. That's just a good example of like how you can tie the massage all together and not keep it as just one section and then the other section. Really, you're holding the whole client's energy with your body. It helps to open your own heart during these sessions, to gain that width, actually, the expansion of your own body, to be able to carry the expansion of someone else's. Okay. And this can be, once again, I just mentioned this, but one of the beautiful, beautiful parts of being a Tantra practitioner is actually being connected to the source more closely. Sexual energy and sensual energy is a very primal force. This is the force of creation. So this is like what brings us back into our vortex, and not only is these sessions for the clients, but the practitioners' lives can change dramatically, while doing this session. So there you have it. We have a recap, and I want to thank you for joining us. With the intuitive Tantra trainings, this is a training on session 1. Only if you are interested in training in session 2 or session 3 and beyond, we do couple sessions. Sessions 4, 5, and 6 are actually role reversal sessions, and they are a mutual massage. So if you're looking to do more advanced sessions with your clients, please let us know. We would be happy to help you advance through your training. And yes, thank you, and please join us for some of our other modules. I am Lana, the founder of Intuitive Tantra, and I look forward to chatting with you on the next module.